Join me as I dive into the craziest US Open moments you probably missed. Can I spot the wildest highlights that flew under the radar? When you think about the US Open, you probably think about the thrilling matches, the incredible upsets, and the electrifying atmosphere. But what about the moments that didn't make the highlight reels? The unseen, the unreported, and the unbelievable moments that happened off camera or slipped through the cracks of the media coverage. These are the moments that us tennis fans crave, the moments that make us go, wow, or what just happened? And yet, they often get lost in the chaos of the tournament. That's what we're here to uncover today, the hidden gems of the US Open that will leave you questioning how you missed them in the first place. The sheer scale of the US Open makes it almost impossible to capture every exciting and unusual moment. There are thousands of hours of footage, countless photographers snapping away, and a sea of reporters scrambling to get the scoop. But despite all this, some moments are bound to slip through the net. Take for instance the time a player's racket snapped in two during a heated rally. The crowd gasped in shock, the commentators were left speechless, and yet it barely made a mention in the post-match analysis. Or what about the infamous sting operation in 2015, where a group of mischievous spectators started buzzing the court with remote control drones? It was a surreal but hilarious moment that left players and officials stunned, yet it got barely a mention in the mainstream media. These are just a couple of examples, but there are countless more where those came from. In a sport as fast-paced and high-stakes as tennis, anything can happen, and often does. And it's precisely these kinds of moments that make the US Open so special, so electrifying, and so unforgettable. Over the next few minutes, we're going to delve into some of the craziest, wildest, and most unbelievable moments from the US Open that didn't make the cut. From tantrums to triumphs, and from comebacks to controversies, we'll be covering it all. So buckle up, tennis fans, and get ready to relive some of the most unforgettable unseen moments from the US Open. One of the most memorable moments that didn't get the attention it deserved was when a player's coach got into a heated argument with an umpire during a match. The tension was palpable, the crowd was on the edge of their seats, and yet it barely made a blip on the radar of the tennis world. In another instance, a player went on a stunning 15-minute rant about the unfairness of the scheduling, leaving the commentators and the crowd in stitches. It was a moment of pure catharsis, but one that was sadly lost in the shuffle of the tournament. And who can forget the time a stray ball boy got caught up in a rally and ended up diving across the court to retrieve the ball? It was a moment of pure comedy gold, but one that slipped under the radar of the mainstream media. These are just a few examples of the kinds of moments we'll be exploring today. Moments that were overlooked, underrated, or simply forgotten in the chaos of the tournament. But among all these incredible moments, there's one that stands out above the rest. One moment that was so outrageous, so unbelievable, and so unforgettable that it has to be seen to be believed. It's a moment that has gone down in US Open lore as one of the most iconic, one of the most shocking, and one of the most unforgettable moments in the tournament's history. And we're going to dive into it in just a minute. But before we get to that, let's take a step back and appreciate the sheer awesomeness of these unseen moments. They're a reminder that, no matter how hard we try, we can never capture the full essence of the US Open. There's always something going on behind the scenes, something that's waiting to be discovered, something that's going to leave us speechless. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to uncover those hidden gems, those unseen moments, and those unforgettable highlights that will leave you questioning how you ever missed them in the first place. So what was that one outrageous moment that took place at the US Open? Well, you'll just have to stick around to find out. It's a moment that will leave you stunned, it will leave you amazed, and it will leave you wondering how you ever missed it in the first place. But before we wrap up, let's take a quick recap of the craziest, wildest, and most unbelievable moments from the US Open that didn't make the cut. From tantrums to triumphs, and from comebacks to controversies, we've covered it all today. So, if you liked this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and share your own favorite unseen moments from the US Open in the comments below.